Lithium 1.5 begins as before, with a cheap and easy to build starter, and expands into a full circle with a spacious interior. Then it gets honeycombed to guard against early game raids, and extends up into the open core for more protection. But in this updated tutorial, the compound gets built much earlier, preventing TC griefing and grubs from interfering with your progression, making the base more defendable before completion, far more fluent than the V1 when playing in a chaotic high-pop server. After that, the mobility ring gets built, with 3 roof bunkers and a 3rd wall to open core. When that's done, assemble the shooting floor with awesome angles and tons of retakes. Finally, finish off the roof with peaks, retakes and drop downs, all protected by turrets and SAMs. But that's not all, so let me show you around this powerhouse and then teach you how to build it. Welcome to the tour of the Lithium. Starting off with the gatehouses, we have an airlock going inside. Beyond that, on the left and the right, we have peaks looking back behind the furnace wall, with plenty of visibility to the front of the gatehouse. There are 2 more gatehouses on the other sides of the base. The compound itself features 6 turrets, with amazing visibility all around, and protected by chain link against HVs. The compound also has a furnace wall, to slow down raiders if they destroy the compound walls. It's best to use wood walls for this as bait, so they get caught up in the turrets and shotgun traps. To get past this point, raiders will have to destroy the furnace first. As you can see, it's super easy to replace the compound walls, and the furnace can be replaced from inside the compound afterwards. Moving on, we have compound bedrooms right in front of the entrance to the base. Each one features 2 beds, with more retakes back behind the furnace wall, and some angles outside too. And rich or spoiled PC players will be able to use this Brutalist peak. Even stood here, you can see how great the turret angles are. Going through one of 3 entrances into the base, we have a jump up onto the 2nd floor with a retake. And right here we have another little bedroom with more peaks into the compound. These are covered by a roof so raiders can't really see you from their raid base. Next we move on to the mobility ring, which surrounds the 2nd and 3rd floor of the base, all covered by just 3 turrets. Not only does the ring link up each mobility chute, but it also has a huge range of peaks, which will be really useful early and late game. These cover many spots around the compound, and have retakes back into the shooting floor. And as you can see, it's really easy to traverse. There's also a really nice bedroom retake that I'll show you in a bit. Going through one of the 3 garage doors, we have a respawn and a retake back into the open core. And down here we have a drop down into the starter, protected by shotgun traps and a retake. The starter has 2 huge loot rooms, each with 8 boxes, and expands from this smaller heptagon shape, so you can claim your area and gather resources quickly. And here's the upkeep for the main TC, but not that it matters anymore. I know a lot of people still get funny about main TC upkeep, but because of Rust's Industrial Revolution, it doesn't matter anymore, as you can easily feed boxes of materials to your TC now. Follow the chute up to the 3rd floor to access the open core. In here we have storage equal to about 30 large boxes, divided between 3 loot rooms and in the ceiling. There are 3 entrances to the open core, with ways up to the bedrooms and shooting floor, and down back into the mobility ring. Next to the chutes, we also have these vending machine bunkers, with lockers hidden behind. On the next floor up we have the retakes back into the open core, with beds and boxes right next to the peaks. And on the left of each respawn, we have a 1-way retake back into the shooting floor. You can see out, but raiders can't see back in. This is repeated on all 3 sides. With the double doors open, they act as an airlock to the exit into the shooting floor. You can also fit another bed behind me if you have more players. Now I'll show you the main mobility chutes up to the shooting floor, where we also have the bunkers. The bunkers open with a triangle roof placed above the entrance. There are 3 of these, 2 more on the other sides of the base. In each bunker you can fit a battery and a couple of large boxes. You can put more storage in there if you use barrels or if you relocate the batteries. On the way up we have another 1-way retake back into the shooting floor. Around the shooting floor we have 6 of these peaks where your head is covered by the square frame, along with these created with the low wall and the mobility ring. The shooting floor wraps around the entire 4th floor with a ridiculous amount of retake points, so you should never lose control of it. And through the single door we have wide gaps with angles out into the compound and surrounding area. These downward angles are vital to kill any raiders hugging your base. And you can even retake the mobility ring from here too. and here we have a one-way retake onto the roof. Again, this means that raiders can't see you, but you can see them easily. And you can see back into the shooting floor from here too. On the way up to the roof, we have another retake if anyone gets through this single door, and another respawn point right next to this roof peak, leaving more angles around the compound and far away. Oh, and also another retake onto the roof. Moving up through the airlock, we have more peaks with boxes underneath, and there are 2 more roof exits on the other sides of the base. The roof itself is covered by 3 turrets, which are protected from minis by the half-wall pods. We also have 3 SAMs protected by the roof pieces, and here you can see what those one-way retakes look like from up here. It's almost certain death with a radius standing in the middle, and some more roof respawns using the wide-gapped bedroom towers. You can actually fit 2 beds in these if you want, and the roof pieces give you some cover against raid bases. Beyond that, we have 3 vending machine bunkers. There are also 6 faraway peaks like this on the roof, but you don't actually need the Brutalist skin to use them, and the wood roof on the left gives you some more cover. Using one of the 6 waterfalls, you can safely drop down from the roof to the compound, which are also guarded by the mobility chute turrets. Next I'll show you the upkeep for the externals. There are 6 in total, 3 attached to the wide gaps and 3 attached to the wall stacked parts of the base. If you only want 3 externals, you can reattach the wall stacked parts back to the main base. I'll show how to do this in the tutorial, but it will vastly increase the upkeep on main TC. And if you want bunkered externals, I have a separate tutorial for that in the description. And before we start the build, here's the full cost and upkeep of the base. More economical than the V1, as it uses more stone but less metal. And the footprint includes the compound gatehouses and bedrooms. Start the build by putting down your TC, so you can secure the area. The base will be built in its final material, so upgrade when you can. As always, remember to lock your TC. Next, complete the footprint as shown. After that, surround it with walls, and put a door here. Then add the ceiling. When you get some HQM, upgrade these parts. This can be done at any stage. The foundation isn't ultra important. Add more doors to increase the raid cost. Feel free to kit out the starter any way you wish while you gather more resources to complete the full circle. When you have enough materials, put down 4 triangles outside, then attach squares to each one. Fill in the gaps with more triangles. Then surround with walls. Next, build all the square ceilings. Fill in these triangles. And on the outside, build these 2. And then build these 2 on the other side. Leave the one in the middle open, this will be our entrance. Put a window here for our retake, and a triangle floor at half height for the jump up. You can use the furnace for now and add the triangle later if you like, by bridging over a half height tile from one of the loot rooms that we'll build later. Then complete the entrance with a half height triangle for the jump up. Leave the top of it open for the entrance to the open core. Finish the starter as shown. For the best use of the retake, you should put beds next to it, as they'll give you the correct height to crouch on. But you can put mixing tables or something else if you prefer. Now you can add doors to each loot room, and put as many as you like in the middle. Next we'll add honeycomb to the outside. Add squares to the back of the triangles, and add triangles to the back of the squares. Then you can honeycomb everything. Next we'll honeycomb the top to protect the TC. Put a window here next to the doorway, and 2 more on the other sides of the base. In between put half walls. Divide it into 3 sections using low walls. You can put boxes in here later. After you've built all the honeycomb, I highly recommend making all the ceilings HQM. Next we'll build the open core. First locate the entrance and put a door next to it. Then add 3 walls, another door frame in front of this retake, another 3 walls, and another door frame. Finish with 2 more walls. Go back to the entrance to the core, put a full wall on the left, finish the ceiling, then add a single door frame here for a locker, or you can put batteries here if you want to make more space in your bunkers. Now do the same for the other 2 sides, but of course we'll have to put a wall on the right too this time. On this side, build your jump up to the 3rd floor. I recommend using different garage door skins for this, so you can know which chute goes down to the core. Now do the same again on this side. Next, put floors above the loot rooms. Then locate these sealed in triangles and put a half wall and a window above them. Do this on 3 sides of the base. Then complete the rest with walls. Then put extra walls around the loot room. Then put a door frame and a ceiling on top. This is the wall for the drop down into core. When you upgrade it to metal, rotate it. Do this again for the other 2 sides. Then put a door frame in the front of each entrance. Next, extend the jump ups. Put a square ceiling and extend this one on the left hand side. Then seal in this triangle by the retake. We'll add the vending machine later. Do the same on the other 2 sides of the base. Next, add triangle frames all around the top. This will help you move around. Later, we'll put boxes on them. Then start to the left of one of the retakes and put a single door. Put a half wall on top of the retake, and a full wall and a window next to that. And above the jump up, put a full wall. Repeat this all the way around the base. Single door, half wall and window, and a full wall. Single door, half wall and window facing in, and a full wall. Sealing the roof, add the triangles first. Then fill in the gaps with squares. And then the center with triangles. Next, add frames to the jump ups and where the beds go. This will improve the mobility of running around up here. Then add windows to the front of each bedroom. Then add triangle floors on top of those, making it a hexagon shape. Then add half walls to the tops of the windows, and seal in the rest with full walls. Add double doors to each entrance for the airlocks, but you should use garage doors if you want extra beds next to the entrances, otherwise mobility will be annoying. Now to add the finishing touches. In each loot room, put a ramp, then place a twig square with a triangle through the wall. Remove the square and replace it with a triangle. Do the same to each loot room. Next we'll do the vending machine locker bunkers. You can do these at any time. Place the locker in a single door frame, upgrade it to metal, open the door, and then gently slide in the vending machine as far as it will go. Don't worry about the gap from the embrasure, it will be covered later with honeycomb. After that, add doors all around. Next, add honeycomb to the back of the loot rooms. Do this on all 3 sides of the base. To prevent anyone from going deep right now, put some door frames and doors in front of the entrances. Again, do this to all sides of the base. For a temporary jump up, you can add a twig roof here, but don't upgrade it. For the compound, we'll start with the wide gap parts of the base. First, put 5 triangles here, and then build out by 4 twig squares and a triangle. Remove the squares, and build back with triangles, and put one more square. Upgrade these parts, remove these twig pieces, and build out by 3 squares. Then place 3 triangles, this will be for our external TC. Remember, you can bunker these if you want to, just check the link in the description. As always, remember your 2 half walls on this foundation, facing the base. To connect it to the wide gap, build a window here, and then 2 single doors, and a ceiling. All these parts should be metal to prevent soft siding. Then connect it with a triangle frame and 2 squares. Disconnect it in the usual way with a triangle roof. Replace the frames to reconnect. Do this again on the other 3 sides of the base. It's important that these wide gap parts go in front of the open core honeycomb, not in front of the entrances. Instead, for the entrances, we need to wall stack them. For this, build up by a triangle and 7 squares, and put a triangle on the end. Then remove all these pieces, and build back with triangles. Upgrade these last 2. Then remove all the twig. This is how the bunkers in the base are created, so these foundations aren't actually connected. If you want to connect them back to the base, you can build this. And then place a roof here. The roof will connect it to the wall and to the main TC, but I don't recommend doing this as you'll dramatically increase the main TC upkeep. So instead, we'll connect it to an external. First build a square, then to the left build a twig square and a triangle. Then build another triangle here and connect all the foundations together with a window on either side and a frame in the middle. Then build 4 triangles, a half wall and a window. This will be our breach beak in the compound. Now there are 2 ways to connect this to an external, one for PC and one for console. I'll show the console one first. Build up by 4 squares, then place your TC housing. This is the same as the last one I showed. To connect it to the base, first place a twig wall in the middle, then 2 metal frames here, and 2 more metal frames. I can't connect it on PC as it doesn't work. Instead, on PC you'll have to do this. Build up by 2 squares, and place 3 triangles like so. Your TC goes in the last triangle. Then place a full wall here, a door behind you, and on this foundation, place 2 half walls. As you can see, 2 frames won't connect it to the base. We'll have to put a wall frame here, and then it will connect. To disconnect, place the foundation here, then the roof. Do this again on the other 2 sides of the base, so we have 6 externals altogether. Remember that the wall stacked ones go in front of the entrances. Next, add 3 triangles to the wide gap foundations where the gatehouses will be. Then add a window on either side, half walls on top with ceilings. Then if you don't have glass yet, place half walls here with triangle floors. This will stop anyone from getting in through the windows. At the moment, this is all we need to seal the compound. We'll come back and finish the gatehouses later. Then put your barricades on top of the gatehouses. 2 is enough here. And you could put 1 more on top of the airlock. Then repeat these steps again on the other 2 sides of the base. Then we'll build the bedrooms. Add 2 foundations here, half wall either side of the window, then 2 windows. Then add 3 triangles on top. You can place the locker and the roofs now. Upgrade them to Brutalist if you have the skin. Then add a square foundation either side with a low wall at the front. This is the bare minimum we need to seal the compound. Then put your barricades on top and make sure they stick out slightly over the edge of the bedroom. Again, do this on the other 2 sides of the base for the 3 bedrooms in total. Now to place the compound walls, start off by the bedrooms and place it as close to the low wall as possible, making sure there's no gap on the right. Do the same on this side, again with no gap. And make sure it's as close as possible to the low wall. Then fill in the slots next to the gatehouses. Super easy, right? To give you some more early game defense, we're going to build the bedroom towers. So outside the gatehouses, build up by 2 frames, put half walls on top. Use ladders to climb up, then build more frames on top, a floor, windows all around, then a ceiling and a door. If you start getting raided, just respawn in these to defend. Then complete the gatehouse by putting a window on either side, and the ceiling. It should be metal to prevent soft siding of the turret. Then here, put a low wall, and another low wall here. Then jump on top, place a twig floor, 2 wood frames, and 2 stone frames. The stone frames should go up to the next floor. After placing the roof, place down your chain link, and add 2 wood floors to the top here to protect the turrets. Then do the same on this side. Again, extend these stone frames to the second floor. This will make it easier to expand later. Then we'll add the windows for the furnace wall. Place 2 triangle foundations, then your window. And do this again on the other side of the gatehouse. When finished, your completed gatehouse would look like this. Then repeat these steps on the other 2 sides of the base. Next we'll finish the compound bedrooms. Put a window on either side like this. Then triangle floors at the top. More triangle floors here, upgrading them to metal. Then 2 half walls. Then put a door here. And on the square foundations, put a low wall on the side, then a half wall here with a square on top. Then put 3 frames all around, upgrading these ones to stone, then put a square floor on top. You only need chain link in the wood frames. Then do the same on this side. The side low wall can stay wood as shown. When completed, the bedrooms will look like this. Repeat these steps on the other 2 sides of the base. As I showed in the tour, the furnaces are easily placed. Just make sure that they're as high as possible with no gaps. Next we're going to build a mobility ring. Start off by placing 2 frames here and a square floor on top. On the right side, put 2 triangle floors, and on the left, put a triangle frame. Put another floor here, build a half wall and a window. Then a triangle for the jump up, and a frame. On the next floor up, put a full wall here, and on the other side, then put windows all around the square. Put half walls above the windows, and seal it in with a ceiling, and put a triangle for loot boxes. Then build a frame and a window. Above the window, put a half wall, then a frame here, and 2 triangle floors. Then place out some wall frames for doors. Remember to put a jump up here. When completed, this section will look like this. As always, repeat these steps on the other 2 sides of the base. If you're at all confused, then just go back and rewatch the video. Next to these wide gap parts, upgrade these foundations to metal, put 2 floors here, and then 4 full walls. Then put frames all around. You should probably put more frames than that, and upgrade those top floors to metal. One thing I almost forgot is that you need to put frames here next to the chutes. This will cover any gaps in the sides because of the wall stacking. Repeat this on all 3 sides of the base, and remember to upgrade those floors to metal, not stone. Next we'll build the peaks for the mobility ring. You can remove these doors as we don't need them anymore. Build a half wall and a window in each gap, a triangle floor here with a frame, a roof, and then a triangle to seal it off. Do the same on this side. Repeat these steps all the way around the base so it looks like this. Start from this section here, place a full wall, making sure the hard side is facing inwards, then place a half wall on top of the window, a ceiling, and a wall frame. Do the same on this side. On this section held up by frames, place a window on either side, a full wall in the middle, half walls on the windows, and a low wall on top of the full wall. To place a turret, place a half wall and a floor. If you have the container skin, you can remove the stone half walls afterwards. Without them, you won't be able to replace the turret if you don't have the container skin. Then seal in the top with triangle floors and low walls. The low walls will be the shooting floor peak. When completed, this section will look like this. Repeat these steps again on the other 2 sides of the base in exactly the same way. Now I can build the bunkers and finish off the mobility chutes. Start by placing a half wall on these frames. Then place a full wall on either side of the window. Then triangle ceilings over the bunker. And a half wall and the window here. Then place a full wall with the hard side facing you. This will cover any gaps in the sides of the bunker. Next, place a full wall here with the hard side facing inwards. It must be like this to seal gaps outside. Then open the bunker and place a ceiling here, attaching to the triangle that you're standing on. If you're having trouble doing this, try from inside the bunker. After adding a floor and a frame, put a wall, a floor, and a door here. Then put one more triangle here for the jump up. Don't ever put a frame here, otherwise you'll break the bunker. This is how I fit 2 large boxes and a battery inside, but feel free to experiment with it. Remember to upgrade the floors of the bunker underneath to prevent soft siding. Next, I'll show you how to close this gap in the bunker. Just place a frame on this half wall, upgrade it to HQM, and rotate it. If rotated correctly, then the gap will disappear. Put another frame on this side, but this can stay stone. After that, put a ramp here, upgrading it to metal, and then put 2 triangle roofs either side of it. When completed, this section will look like this. Repeat these steps on the other 2 sides of the base in exactly the same way. You can just rewind the video to see how. For the shooting floor, first position yourself here next to the mobility chutes. Start off by building 3 frames here. Then put a square frame on top of them, a window with a wall on the right. And then put 2 triangles on top. Then jump up here, place a window, a triangle frame, a wall, a half wall on top of the window, a ceiling and a door. Then repeat this step on the other sides of the base. When you've done all 3 sides, we'll build the retakes next to the bedrooms. But before you do that, place a twig floor on either side to stand on, then carry up these stone wall frames from the gatehouse. Build a frame, a roof attaching to the outer part, a frame at the top, and another wall frame here. And do the same on this side. If you're lazy, you don't have to build these, but it will give you cover in the bedroom. After that, place a window either side here, one here, and a single door frame on the left. And repeat this step on the other 2 sides. When you've done all 3 sides, then we can finish off the shooting floor. Just attach square frames to the wall frames and put a window in front. Do this on all 6 sides. Remember to place a box next to each window to elevate you. You can use ramps, but it might block the retake from the bedrooms inside. After that, put frames either side of each square and seal in the roof. And then you can finish these one-way retakes on the roof. Just add a half wall either side and 3 triangles. Do this on all 3 sides of the base. Next, go back to the chutes and extend these frames up to this floor. Then add windows on top with a ceiling. You can stand on a twig floor temporarily to upgrade them. Then place your roof. Put a full wall next to it, place 2 triangles, and then place a low wall here for the retake. Then in this gap, put a double door. Next, put windows on either side, and one more single door at the front. Now do this again on the other 2 sides of the base. Before building the bedroom, place roofs on these frames. But if you want to place 2 beds in the bedrooms, then you have to place the roofs afterwards, unless you have one of the new building skins, apart from Brutalist. Then put another triangle roof on either side to give you more cover. After that, put windows here, with small boxes in front to elevate you, and do the same on the other 2 sides of the base. When all 3 sides are done, we'll fill in these squares. First, place a twig square to stand on. Then next to the chute, place a triangle frame. Add a full wall and a low wall to the triangle frame. Then extend the wall frame up by 1, add a square frame to it, then a window on the outside, and your roof piece. Then put a low wall with a ramp inside. The ramp should face the window, and seal it in. You can put boxes on the ramp from inside the roof exit. Now repeat these steps on the opposite side of the chute. Now do this again for all the other gaps in the roof. Now all 6 sides should be finished, so go ahead and add the roofs around the SAM sites. And on top of these bedrooms, we'll build the turret towers. After building 3 frames, put a square frame in the middle and a triangle at the back. Then place a roof piece. After that, build half walls on top and place your turret and the ceilings. Note that the turret shouldn't be too far forward. Then your windmill can go on top. Do this again for all 3 sides with the SAM sites too. For the vending machines, upgrade this triangle where the one-way retake is. Place a full wall, and on the other side place the vending machine. Just make sure it's as close as possible to the wall. Then test it to see if it opens. Do this on all 3 sides. There's one small thing I forgot about the drop downs. You need to place a roof here. It can stay wood as you have 6 drop downs from the roof, so it doesn't matter if it gets destroyed. They go right next to the compound bedrooms. And if you want to, you can put grills in the bottom of these frames here by the roof peaks. They don't serve much purpose, but they do look quite cool. One more small thing I forgot is that you should put these patricos next to the bedrooms. Again, they can stay wood because they're not really that important. So if you made it this far into the video, then you must have finished the base. And if you finished the base, then you should most definitely subscribe and give the video a like, as I've recorded this one twice now, which is pretty painful. So I guess thanks for watching it a second time.